We are live a few minutes ahead of time. No, a few seconds ahead of time. Loading up Grim Dawn. Gonna be moving ahead with this. Trying to get more gear, more levels. Oh, it's because I went ear last. Okay. Well, there's a few things I want to do. I do want to go do a run of the troll zone just in case I get a new troll hammer that is a little bit better than the one I have. Tell me if the game volume is too loud. How's the volume actually? Audio. I can raise the music volume and reduce the sound volume and the ambient volume here. There. Not sure it's going to make a huge difference, but does give me some experience with Homestead as well, which is what I want. But it's really the troll clubs that I'm interested in. It's the kind of thing that I would probably do whenever I start the game. Run to this place, see if there's any proper enemies to fight to try to get more clubs out of them. Not doing super good though, but I haven't seen any hero trolls or boss trolls. And the actual boss in this zone is drop is good for soldiers, not for shaman. Well, or a shaman soldier would probably like it as well, but that's what sometimes when you try to do these kind of grind for equipment, it gets a little bit difficult. Whoa. I got it pretty bad there. Battle plate. Is it any good? I mean, it actually might be better than what I have. Well, what I have gives +2 level to savagery, resistance to chaos, which I do not have on many things here. It's not a bad armor, but and yeah, those clubs here, they're not bad, but they're better if you're running a soldier. What you want are the troll bone crushers, which are not super frequent because you need to find the Ero or higher level trolls, and those are not the most common enemy around. As you can see, I saw none of them in a full run of this particular zone. But we've gone through, gives us some homestead experience, but we're gonna go to the place where you get all the homestead experience. I mean, we find regular trolls, but it's usually not those guys that drop the good clubs. So we're going to go and do the homestead quests, the various homestead quests. There's a few of them. Which direction do you go first is always the first question. I generally go and do the cannon quest first, which goes to the east. It's a little bit harder and it opens up a special zone, so it's not a bad thing to do. There's shrines in every direction, so you basically have to clear it out anyways. Blighted Mark of Mending. Is that any good? Vitality resistance, not fantastic. This is why you want a lot of ether resistance, because all that nasty ether ground all over the place. And you do have to go through some decently large areas of it. So you're going to take good damage out of it. Oh, or those. That might actually, well, I'm probably going to actually increases my damage. I lose the Berserk ability from the helmet, but it has better resistances than better damage than what I've got. Oh, it's because it boosts this particular ability. It replaces the elemental damage bonus it gives with physical damage bonus, which in turns gets even stronger for my character. That's a trade. That's a trade. If I see more of those helmets and they're good, we're gonna use them. Evil scarecrows. I should have broken that. Oh well. We're back to the big crystals and all that stuff. But you do want them for, that's the shield. That's not a helmet. I'm going to be looking for the helmets. The shields may be less. You can use the dynamite to open this, and this will lead you to a special dungeon. I'm going to clear out some enemies here. Try to go as quickly as possible across the ether ground. All right. I'm going to do the primary quest here first. Yeah, the damage here is getting there. Maybe I will need more health regeneration or more health in general at some point. But then again, the monsters are 6 levels higher than me. That's a lot. Not very good. It's an offhand, not very good. Well, not really that the offhand itself is not very good. It's more that my character doesn't use them. I'm level 36, and the enemies around here are popping at level 40 to 41. So things are a little bit rougher here.
Please? I want to see what you're doing.
All right. I like the evil scarecrows. It's just the type of monster that I like in these types of games. So we're just going to go this way. Yeah, you have to be a little bit more aggressive with your potions in this particular area. All right, we've got a lot of these guys. All right. Nothing terrifying, but all right. Pauldron. I'll see if those are any good. Ether damage converted to physical. They give less armor than the one I currently have, so not really worth it. Okay. All right. More of these things. A shield. I mean, when I'm fighting monsters, my health goes back up fairly quickly. The problem is the elemental hazards or the ground hazards are really nasty around here. And there's a few more later on as well. Ether damage is a type of damage you have to have good resistance against, because the later on bosses, later on monsters, especially in some of the expansion packs, are very ether based. Don't stand in the green goo. You are not a Ninja Turtle. That is an appropriate statement. I'm sure there is a mod that would let me turn into a Ninja Turtle, but that's what mods are for. Even though Nintendo's trying to kill mods now, uh, that is going to be a whole lot of messes. Not that great. That's a pistol. Those are boots. I'm gonna check them. Vitality, ether, movement. A lot of movement speed though, which is not bad. Maybe I shouldn't have activated the totem at the same time a boss is around, but I mean, you're gonna have to fight a couple of those heralds of whatever, and they do a whole lot of ether damage. I mean, the little bug things and the flying eyes are not as bad because they deal like lightning and fire damage. It's not too terrible. I was expecting. I mean, those things are usually pretty. I usually have a hard time against that thing, but I guess I have enough resistance and everything to make it work. A dagger. All right. Epic chest. That's usually worth a little bit of money. More everything's dead people. Dynamite. And the cannons I needed to reclaim for the Black Legion. But they're not the Black Legion. They're the Black Legion, not the incompetent Black Legion. They're the slightly competent Black Legion that works in this particular universe. All right. Well, I'm just going to grab stuff so I can sell. Make myself a little profit off of this thing. Head to Olmsted. And you go give the cannons to this guy. And it adds cannons to the fortifications. That's really cool. Whenever you do a quest and they add stuff to the cities, I find it really cool. You should have more stuff like that actually in the game. I mean, what else can you put in a helmet? I'm always trying to think here. What should I put in my helmet? Because the spine carapace is not fantastic, but it does the trick. Oh yeah, I have a devotion point I got off of this. I'm gonna go back here. I mean, stun reduction is very good. Plus 4% speed is also very good because it's all speed, including movement speed. 30% chance of a big buff of lightning damage is really cool, but I don't deal that much lightning damage. I deal a lot more physical. So you started another occultist at level 16. Well, could be a lot worse. You could be skipping work to play the game. That would be the worst thing to do. I will never endorse skipping work to play video games, even though sometimes it's fun to do. Never mind. All right, now I'm going to go to the Hidden Dungeon, which is a city that was basically the first city that was basically taken over by the evil zombie guys. So let's go there. It's mostly because there is a shrine in that particular zone, so I want to go and get it before I do anything else. It's always good to max out the number of shrines you have. and a level. And that is another location where there's going to be an awful lot of that green goo on the floor. But oh yeah, I wasn't sure what I wanted to level up. I'm going to finish this particular skill. My mana is really low, but it doesn't really matter. It's always good. It's more damage. It's elemental, so it does trigger my lightning damage bonuses. This particular zone is very aggressive, though. It's very. The enemies are kind of strong to very strong, so you have to be quite careful. And it's not just the level, the enemy types you meet here are stronger than some you've met in other areas. There's an awful lot of those crystals on the ground. Some of them turn into other monsters, as you can see. There's those big towers of monsters. So you have a lot of things to worry about. All right, let's see where I need to go now. I kind of know where I need to go for the one thing I want, but all right. It's an element like the one I have, but less damage, more resistances. Probably not as good as the one I have. This area also makes my computer chug. You might notice. Because there's just a lot of everything going on. So it ends up having a hard time managing all the stuff, basically. Oh, dynamite. And this is a location where there's not that much food rations or vitality drops and things like that. So you can easily get overwhelmed by the amount of enemies, especially since you need to constantly heal yourself because of the ground stuff. And there's some of those enemies that are just annoying because they got like a mana shield or something. And they're really hard to kill. A little bit of food. I can't move forward from here. Okay, I can move this way. You start having the big crystal formations too, which drop the bigger crystals that you need to make dynamite. So it's not a bad thing. I don't think I'm going in the right direction, though. Those guys also don't give me any reputation for anything useful yet, but I don't really care. That's actually the right direction if I want to get to. Everything's broken off because of how the fields are set up. Corrupted manticores, all sorts of fun stuff around here. Nothing friendly, but all sorts of stuff. There's a big crystal formation. Ether cluster is a usable item rather than a craftable or a crafting item. I can't remember what it does. Increases damage absorption for 8 seconds. That's an awful long time right there. No, this one turned into a big monster thing. I don't know if the ones that turn into monsters are always in the same spots for the for these things. I'm not even sure if the formations are always in the same spot, but they are earlier in the game. So I would assume that ear they're also always in the same spot, but maybe the ones that turn into monsters don't turn in the same time. You got a week and a half of vacation left before the end of the year. Uh, in my case, it's more because I have a week left of vacation, pretty sure. But it's also because my last week of vacation is Christmas week, and 2 of those days are counted as holidays. So I don't use up my vacation for those 2 days. So I'm probably going to end up having like extra vacation. They're going to be like in January like, yeah, take an extra week of vacation like now, and I'll be like, but I don't need a week of vacation now. I need one like at another time in the year. It's mostly because I've changed, geez, since last January, I've changed departments twice. I've changed position like 3 times. And I'm on the verge of being in another position or halfway into like 2 different positions. So it's very hard to schedule vacation for someone when you don't know what department he's going to be working at the end of the week, you know, something like that. So that's a bit of my problem this year with scheduling my vacation. when my By the time they schedule vacation this year, it shouldn't be as bad. I should be able to manage it better. I think I'm in the wrong location. Where? Oh no, okay. I'm in still the right spot here. I need to. Ugh. This is actually a really good skill. There we go. Killed that thing. I kind of needed an area of effect or straight line kind of dealio for damage. That comes from my. Yeah, it comes from my relic. So it's a thing that I'm going to be able to keep around for a while as well. There might be an upgraded version of it as well at a later point, but I don't know yet. That's all I really want from this location. I'll come back to Port Valibury to do the. There's a full on quest in here that you need a key to open a secret door. Doom Saw of Gluttony. I mean, unfortunately, it's not a weapon I can use, but with a name like Doom Saw of Gluttony, sounds really awesome. I mean, we're at a point where Halloween should be just a holiday since people kind of celebrate it almost more than Christmas in many cases. So I know some people would get really mad at that in the US, but everybody everywhere else, well, not everywhere. I mean, it's Canada, US, and that's about it. That's the only 2 places that really celebrate Halloween. Europe, some places have fun with it, but they're not doing it as big as we are around here. I mean, there's nothing really useful here for me. No unique drop that I really need. No, nothing. So might not be a. I mean, it's always good to walk around, but I might not need to farm this area. Topet, pendant of corrosion. It's not fantastic, but we're done. Well, the US is a little bit rougher on vacation. And I mean, Canada, there's actual, well, Quebec at least, there's a lot of actual rules on what you have to do for vacation and how much vacation you're allowed to give, etc. So I have that advantage over some people. We're not as bad as some places in Europe, but Europe's special in that particular regards. Was that ring any good? Physical damage? It's not that great either. Eh, not too terribly, not worried yet. All right, well, we've got that taken care of. Now we're going to go kill some bugs. Actually, that's what we're going to be doing for a little while here because that's the bug quests. Really good if you're doing a piercing poison kind of build because there's a lot of the stuff that they drop that's very good for that. And that's going to give me like tons of experience with the city. First off, I have to break some eggs and do bug omelet. No, that doesn't sound good. Um, but that's another fun one because once you're done with this quest, this territory on the map is reclaimed by the city, and you have some farmers working in the fields instead of monsters. There we go. We're killing bugs. Everyone that we kill gives us a little bit of homestead reputation as well, so it can go fairly quick. I missed an egg somewhere. Oh no, there's more than 10 normally, so. There we go. You do have to visit some of those houses. Sometimes I know there's one or two with quest items or things that give quests in them and things that lead to further quests. So I know some people in the US also love saying like I'm never going to take vacation. I'm a real tough guy, etc. You're Matt Walsh types. You shouldn't be killing yourself for your job unless it's your own, company. Because then you're actually, building something for yourself. But if you're working for the man, I mean, do your 40 hours. If they offer overtime and you need it, do the overtime, but don't kill yourself for a job that will not care for you later on. Okay, now we learn about a descendant of the god of death, but they don't quite know they're descendants of the god of death, but kinda. This is a odd long running quest, and you have to do it in the right order, or it kind of doesn't make sense because it goes over to 2 expansions. But if you do the quest in the wrong order, you're gonna see the end of the quest before the start of the quest. So things kind of go out of hand and out of whack, and it doesn't quite work. All right, there is a shrine somewhere around here. Okay, I see it on the mini map at the top right. I have to keep going that way. Oh, there's bugs here though. Just take care of the bugs. You need 1,700 points for the next level, which is really not a whole lot, especially since I have to kill like 3 or 4 at least named bosses for the different quests. So it shouldn't be extensively difficult. All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to go back to town and report the one quest I did so I can start the other quest. Oh yeah, that's Dahlia. Be like, and she'll be like, "Did you read my diary?" No, I would never, read your diary. No, I did because it gives me bonus experience for having read it. So of course I read it. That's a necromancer's axe. Yeah, at level 40, these things are gonna start being useful here. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So level 12 in that's maxed out. That's maxed out. If I wanted more spirit and offensive ability, I'd go with that. But I think I want this ear instead. And to get that, well, no, this is also very good though. Now I need the final thing in this particular line. All right, give me a second. Someone sent me a message. Tomorrow is going to be sunny. Okay, that's a very important message, but that's not what I really wanted or needed. Oh, finally, my books shipped. I ordered books on Monday morning before the stores even opened, and it took them all the way to now to actually ship my darn books. Maybe I should have asked for express shipping instead of regular. Wow, that's a all right. I'm okay. I am now honored. I am at the level of honored. Okay. And I have learned by someone in the YouTube comments that the gun or goon or however you're supposed to spell the name of that Omni-Mech is actually a Gwyn. Gwyn is how it's supposed to be said in Chinese. I'm sorry, I do not speak Mandarin or Cantonese. I do have basis in Japanese, German, Afrikaans, French, English, but no, my Mandarin is very far from what I needed. So I am going to misspell a lot of Liao Mech names. Because I am printing Sha Yu's right now, and that one I'm pretty sure is actually supposed to be spelled Sha Yu. So that's okay. I was trying to make some Shen Yi, but those things just keep falling apart when I print them. So I might actually do a fun video making fun of that instead. Walter's note. No, that's not the... Because there's an item you need to find to get a quest, basically. It's a last will and testament of some guy saying he hid all his gold under a tree or something silly like that. The Owen I've already done. No, I'm talking about the video that came out today with the Gwyn. The Gwyn. Apparently, that's how you're supposed to say that name. 20-ton light Omni from the Capellan Confederation, meant for garrison work. It's actually a really good idea, but I'm not sure I would have built it that way. I mean, light, small cockpits, XL gyro. It gets, well, XL gyro is not that much of an issue on the light mech, but small cockpit is always a problem, especially when you have no arms, because once you fall down, you're dead. But then again, in a 20 tonner, if you fall down, you are dead anyways. So what are you supposed to do? I do like I do like this new risk analysis that I need to start doing on some of those mechs, like Tanky was saying in one of the Wednesday chats we had. Like you can stick an XXL engine on the light mech; it's not a problem because you're not gonna have, if you start getting critical hits on the side torsos, you're fucked anyways. So, oh, the Raptor is a fantastic monster. It's what the Gwen kind of wants to be. I have it written up, but the problem is I only have like 4 of the Raptors. There's only 4 configurations that I found. That's a demon cosplaying as a little girl. We're just gonna, but you do have to talk to it and try to figure out that it's actually a demon. Life Bloom Band. That might actually not be bad. If that's what I remember it is. The resistance on it are really good. No, okay, no, it's this. Oak skin, a lot of health, a lot of regeneration. It's actually not bad. I'm going to leave it in the not bad pile. But yeah, I have only 4 of the Raptor configurations that I've found and managed to print out. I mean, for XL engines, I'm actually I mean, it's a bit of an issue on Inner Sphere Max, but I mean, at some point, the extra speed, the extra armor, the extra guns, they are still worth it. They're still worth taking. In a lot of mechs, they're worth it. There's some issues every once in a while, but that's just how it is. On clan mechs, just stick XL engines in. Who cares? It's just expensive, but it doesn't really matter. The light engine does kind of the same thing for the Inner Sphere side, but it's not as good. And a problem I have with light engine is that there's no clan light engine. I'd love to have an option for clans where you can stick a light engine in for either the AF, like 1 extra crit in each side torso, or using your 2 center torso crits for the light engine extra space. But I mean, on a light mech, if you're less survivable, I mean, you're a light mech, you're gonna get destroyed anyways in many very nasty and horrible ways. So yeah, I have a devotion point. I can buy that skill I was looking at here. This one here, bound to Gavel of Justice. On critical hits, deals a bunch of lightning damage and stuns. Okay, that's perfectly fine. Bugs. Okay, so when I critical it, there's going to be a bunch of lightning bolts falling from the sky. That's nifty. That's very nifty. I like those kind of attacks in these kinds of games just because it reminds me of where the enemies are. Because sometimes you end up with some kind of temporary blindness or whatever in these kinds of games as you're killing all sorts of things. So it can be useful. Nothing this way. Okay, just some treasure. I'm still not sure what we're going to talk about tomorrow on the stream, but we'll see if something comes up during the day. They did announce a couple of new, well, nothing really new outside maybe the Christmas ornament for BattleTech, but I they didn't announce anything really completely new, let's say. They're talking about that remake of the book that everybody has. So we could maybe talk about that or look at various other books or the better builds have more sparkles on the screens. That is how it is in many of those games. To be quite honest, you're gonna start having things shine and things go really nice. My auras are taking a lot of my MPs. But then again, if I remember some of the builds I made in Path of Exile, where I had like 95% of my mana reserved from auras, it's not that bad. Do 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 do. Feel like I'm missing something. Those guys are the ones who dropped the helmet that I currently have, so not a bad thing to fight them either. What's this way? Oh, a ravaged camp. Fun. That's the one with a note, is it? Yeah. Wald's note saying like, "Hey, we've managed to run away. We're doing all good. Everything's going to be fine." And then you find that the camp is entirely, raided by a bunch of RPs. Ah, bonked. All right. Is I thought this was where you got the last will and testament of Dude a Majig. I'll find it. Worst case I don't find it and I find it in another run or later. Nothing interesting here. Whole bunch of bugs here. If I have things that trigger on critical hits, though, there's so many things I could buy with those skill points. What am I looking for here? The Dermapterian Ive, not Ide, Ive. That is one thing I'm looking for. But that's further up around here. Let's keep exploring. We'll find something at some point, I'm sure. Nothing looking interesting here. Dead animals, not a critical situation. Bugs. Yeah, that's where the actual will and testament thing leads you to, usually. It's where you blow up the thing and you get a couple of treasures. It's not worth a whole lot, but you actually get experience out of it. That's getting experience is often worth a lot more than getting money. Okay, well, let's look for the Ive. The Ive is randomly generated, so if they had a little bit more time and a little bit more money, because I don't know, like, if these guys are the same guys working also on Titan's Quest 2 and things like that. They had more like resources. They could do There's a lot of stuff that'd be really cool in this game, like reclaiming land and actually converting it back to livable locations and things like that. It'd be really fun to have that going, but that would require a whole lot of work from the dev team. I don't think. Well, I know the Ive's not going to be in that direction, but I mean, there's enemies, so I'm just going to clear it out. Okay. Do like the exploration as well in this game. There's a lot, even though the map's always the same, it always feels good to be walking around it and trying to find things. It's good that they randomly generate where some of the things are, so you don't always know where to go. You probably should have more of that, but that would be, once again, a lot of investment of time and money, which they might not have. I mean, we keep saying, they were supposed to release an expansion this year, and I haven't seen news. We see news in the announcements of what they're doing, but not much else. There's the hive. All right, let's clear out the top area first. Just gives me more experience and everything. Yeah, getting to the revered. That's how you're supposed to say it. That's even with a plus 200% reputation bonus. That takes you a lot of time. A lot of time. But with Olmsted, it's not super hard to do, just because of what allows you to get a reputation with them, which is all beasts, all insects, all arachnids, so all beastkins. So it turns out that it's actually quite easy to grind. And their quests are not, if you do the bounty quests from the bounty table, they're not super problematic, let's say. There's one of the viziers. There we go. Oathbreaker's Guard, that's a shield. Unfortunately, there's a few sub areas in the Hive as well. One of them is pretty pointless. Yeah, that's the one that's pointless. It just adds a bunch of monsters to kill, which is okay. The other one has a hidden zone within an hidden zone, basically, which is what is where I kind of want to go because there's a shrine, and shrines are what you're looking for all the time. I'm not sure what I'm going to be spending my shrine point on, but I've got a shrine going. There was a bunch of stuff giving resistances that I was looking for, which might not be bad, but I'm going to look for like bonus physical damage if there's anything else that'd be easy to get or word it. Because honestly, that's where I'm at. Because I don't think the lightning stuff is going to be all that fantastic. Well, there was a boss at least here. Yeah, it's those puncturing Demeterian slicers of whatever. Um, if you're doing a dual wielding assassin build, these things are menaces, especially since you will equip two of them. So the damage just starts piling up. It's bonus damage on bonus damage on bonus damage on bonus skill. So it just becomes rather silly. There we go. So this was easy enough. Gonna keep pumping to get this skill here. I mean, I could stick skill points in my attributes, but I haven't really needed that yet. So let's leave it at that. All right. Back up we go. And I mean, since they're all insectoid, everything you kill here gives you a little bit of reputation, and it adds up really quickly. I mean, even on the normal game with no bonus, you should easily be able to get to at least respected from ear and maybe even honored if you know what you're doing. You might have to do a couple of the side quests, though, of the bounty quests and things like that. There's another one of the viziers. There you go. I wish I knew how lightning can fall from the sky where we're in the middle of a hive of bugs, but you know, that's it. That's video game for you. Okay, that's the second hidden zone. And they kind of tell you like there's gonna be hidden stuff because here there's a little area. There's really not much to it, but it kind of tells you that there's going to be something. Oh, those are really good. Not for my particular build, but for retaliation build, the shoulder guards of perdition are really good. So you jump down this hole, you go to the skittering den. Nothing super threatening here, still a bunch of bugs. I've got enough poison resist that they're not terrible. Yeah, I've got full poison resist and full piercing resist. And that's basically the damage type these guys are doing on me. So with enough armor and enough resists, this place is not terrifying. I mean, you can tell there's something here, but it's kind of hidden and it's not on the main map. So you have to know it's there in a way. Yeah, that gavel of justice thing works really well. So you go ear, you break down this wall like a good Ronald Reagan. And you go down the hole to go meet our good friend Golem. Yes, it's literally Golem that lives down here. Yeah, Perdition is great for classic tank retaliation builds, all those things. It's honestly a very good set, and it's not rare as with most of the sets in this game are not that bad. I remember old Diablo where, trying to get a set was stupid, not fun at all, basically. In this one, getting a set is, getting the full set might be difficult. You might have to look for it a little, but getting at least like 2 or 3 bits of a set of, let's say, 5 is not that bad. And there's some small sets that are actually easy to get. The Marauder set for the Gunsman is actually not bad. Okay, I'm gonna wait a second. Anything here that's really good? Okay, I was hearing a really weird noise from behind me. It's one of my fans that's just making noise. I'll have to clean it up. It's devotion points. Okay, if I go to physical, is there anything requires an axe or a spear? That's not really what I've got. There's a Hydra ear for physical, a little bit of ranged weapon. Okay, that's okay. Here, there's a lot of them. Oleron, 20 purple, 7 gold, which I have 0 of. Purple is not that hard to get because there was a few things in the purples that I might want to get anyways. Physical resistance, elemental resistance. This ear is not terrible. Oh, there's the dire bear. Physical damage. Physical damage. Okay, well, that sounds like me going full damage once again. Kraken? Where is Kraken? No, that's Yugal. Kraken. Leviathan. I always have a hard time with the really eye ones, anyways. This gives me 1 purple, 1 blue. Okay, that's not a whole lot of anything. But no, Kraken is right there. I need 5 green. I have 1 green right now. Does buff damage significantly. But getting to it would be a bit of a pain. Everything's like, oh no, spider would give me enough, but it's nothing I would really need for anything else. Hmm. The bear is straightforward. I'll go with that first. Worst case, I respec or I just do another character. There's Golus, not Golem. Golus, sorry. He always drops his ring. He really liked that ring. If I add an actual big lightning build, this would be +2 level in all shaman skill. That is good though. That is good. I'm gonna leave it there. Any of the metals any good? So the metal I have gives poison and elemental resistance. So I need something kind of similar. Ah, too many things going on. Nothing fantastic there. I mean, I'd much rather have a lot of characters in a game like this than one that I just max out all the time. And it would it gets very boring to just always play the same builds or the same thing. That's why I can't do Path of Exile more than like one or two season at a time. Because if I do more than that, I just get bored, and because all my builds end up being more or less the same, and that's because even without wanting to, you end up optimizing. All right. Now we gotta go kill the queen of the bugs. And it's actually good to kill the queen of the bugs because they're not supposed to be reproducing that much, and they're only reproducing by and being that big and that all over the place because it's been the apocalypse. So we are actually doing a positive thing here for the environment. Okay, that's towards the boss. Okay, let's clear out the place first. Don't think there'll be any drops that I need, but you never know. Okay. The queen also has a good drop if you're doing the dual wielding assassin build. So there we go. The queen herself is a good old two-phase boss. It's nothing fancy. Devastating heavy gauntlets of something. That sounds actually pretty good. There's the queen. 100k health, but it's she can't move, so that particular phase is easy. The second phase, she can move. It's a little bit harder, but not very much. But then again, it's because I've got 80% resist poison, 80% resist piercing. All the damage she deals, like I take 80% of it, and then you take out armor. So it's not like she's gonna be that big of a threat. There we go. Worm Claw, not very good for me. Another offhand, not very good for me. What are those gloves I found? 20% physical, 24% fire. Eh. Burn damage, spirit, offensive ability, attack speed, chaos resistance. I mean, those were really good too. So I've got a couple sets of gloves rolling around now. And that's just a shortcut to get out of the cave quicker. All right, well, we're done with the Royal Hive. Not the artist bit of the game, I would be honest, but it's a fun one. Now we gotta go kill the ethereal amalgamation. And that's a little bit trickier. There we are. Blowing up some possessed. I'm not going to say undead, even though some of them are. They're not all undead. Some of them are just possessed. Much better. Some of them, like the scarecrows. Well, they're scarecrows. They're not alive to begin with. What do we have here? Claymore of averageness. Mutagenic ichor. I do have to use the Gavel of Justice ability in order to level up the lightning that's tied to it. So, I mean, it's not very strong, but it's just strong enough that it's worth leveling up. Ouse. Nothing super useful in here. Please don't shoot laser beams at me, Mr. Will-O-the-Wisp. The heck? Necklace of the K, not critical. Okay. How much money do I have? Enough to buy a gold, an iron bar later on. Okay. Not better than the one I have. Here, there's cages where they put some of the beastmen to turn them into possessed beastmen. That's a shield. I don't really need that. I mean, you free them and they still want to kill you, so it's not like they're very nice to, anyways. A bunch of dead people. Only one cadaver you can actually loot. No, nothing critical. Here we are. That's where the amalgamation is. Once again, clear out the zone before you do the boss, because bad things will come to you if you don't. I have enough ether resistance that he is not a huge threat. Okay. Pulsing shard of ether. Okay. Because you said that thing was good, the pulsing shard of ether. A lot of ether damage, a lot of elemental damage, Elt Spirit, energy regeneration, chaos resistance, Albrecht Ray, Reap Spirit. So bonuses to a necromancer ability and an occultist ability. So not bad. All right, that's done. Let's go and report the quests. Looking at the time as well. For a Ray build, I've never done a Ray build. Maybe I should at some point. Not right now, but at some point. Let's just sell the junk I don't need. We'll go and drop off the shards. I have disrupted the cycle. Thank you very much. An inventory bag, which is very good. And since I've got enough reputation with the city, I can go and report the other. You get a quest to go tell the people at Devil's Crossing, hey, they'll be able to send you guys food. I mean, 3,000 points from that year is an immense amount. But when it's like this, you're a bit tight here. What I want is to go see this guy. There was one that was physical for two-handed weapons. Yes, there is. That's lightning. I mean, it'd be cool, but I don't deal enough lightning damage to really be useful. Soon as I'm level 40, I'm going to be installing this on my stick, and my stick's going to start dealing even more damage. Now is the dumb part. All right, we've killed the amalgamation. There we go. So you will have to choose between. All right, you will have to decide if you want to join the Kaimon cultists or the necromancers. And neither choices is good or bad, to be quite honest. It really is what equipment they give. Physical fire lightning. I mean, this ear is much more what I need. The Black Legion will work with you, and I will work with the Kaiman's Legion, even though they turn out to be weird, let's say. I can stick that there. What else can I put in a helmet? Is there any fancy things that I could craft that I could put in a helmet, maybe? Helmet. Yeah, it's okay. Good. Shield, crossbow, shields, armor, rigid shell. Okay, it's not. Nothing is really good here. Or is it Ed? I think it's Ed armor, you have to say. Ed. Yeah. Prismatic diamond, level 55. That's really good, but it's level 55. Vitality and chaos resistance. That probably be good. Ether, elemental, and poison resistance. That'd be good sometimes, but not right now. Leathery eyed is also pretty good. Ectoplasm is not very useful. Blessed whetstone is axe, sword, spears. That's bonus to piercing. Okay. Well, the sanctified bone sounds like a good. Oh, I need purified salt. So you need 4 purified salt to make a bone. So you go to purified salt. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can make a sanctified bone. There we go. And then from there, you put it in your helmet, and it boosts up my resistance that were the lowest to something a little bit more tolerable, but not by much. I mean, at least the elementalists are not trying to kill you later in the game. Like the Kaiman's Chosen, they actually actively try to kill you later in the game. Like they are not good people. While the necromancers, they're just bonkers, which is not very good, but better than nothing. Hey, I'm friendly with you guys now. Oh yeah, that's the find a couple of my guys that are dead quest. Okay. Oh yeah, but I've got to go report to Barnabas in Devil's Crossing as well. I don't know if that's enough to give me. Maybe it'll be enough to give me my level, actually. Let's go see. I do like the concept that you have to choose between the two. That's not a bad thing, and that you fight one or the other. Yay, we're getting food. Okay, that wasn't it. Barely not enough to level me up, but it gives me a lot of experience with both locations. And for Devil's Crossing, I mean, getting to Honored with Devil's Crossing is the harder bit here. because there's not enough of those brigands to actually do good, and the bounty quests are not fun to do. Sorry. But we're doing okay. This guy, if anybody's watching, you'll see him all the time. It's a guy that brings you to one of the DLC quests location. But I mean, I'm trying to do the quests in order, basically. And here, my problem with having low chaos resistance is going to start biting me in the back. So I have to find ways to increase my chaos resistance at some point. Because now we're fighting demon cultists instead of anything else. But I mean, they're basically the boss of the main game and not the DLC. So you're going to be facing them again in some parts of the DLC, but they're never as threatening as ether damage is going to be, basically. At least from my experience. Maybe there's other situation where things get worse. I mean, demon cultists of Cthulhu, basically, of blood and everything. They're really not nice people. Let's just go with that. I do have my level, but it's just enough enemies around me to be annoying, so I can't go and do all my stuff just yet. Let's just clear out the zone. There we are. There shouldn't be anything else coming in. I'll use the powder I got on my stick. Damage went up by 1,200, which is really good. And it's also going to do more internal trauma. And 80 armor is nothing to sneeze at either. All right, I can start putting points in this. Boost your attack speed, boost your physical damage, boosts your chances of bonus lightning damage and electrocute damage. All of that sounds awesome. All right, now let's keep going. They will do more damage to me, but I mean, I kind of clear out threats really quickly right now. Can't remember all the quests you have to do for Kaiman's Chosen. I've taken the Necromancers more often than Kaiman's Chosen. So maybe not a bad thing to take them every once in a while just so I have some diversity. Mm-hmm. More demons. More cultists. Killing some of them turns them into demons. So there's a few odd interactions in this game. All right, that's cleared out. This way I haven't cleared out, but that's okay. Sorrow's Bastion. Okay, that's where you have the necromancers on one side and Kaiman's Chosen on the other, because that's when you're sworn enemies, it's a great place to go. This is the necromancer side. So if I go here, I can actually kill some necromancers. There we go. I'm just going to cause trouble. You're going to be fighting the necromancers in a couple of quests. And on this side is Kaiman's Chosen. I am going to check what they offer to be sure. Okay, they want 3 Catonic Seals, which is not too hard to get, but the problem I have with that is I have 1 right now. I just need to kill a bunch of ghost eyes and I'll get it. Anything here plus 25% physical damage. Okay, that's on rings though. That's what makes those really good. I mean, 12% chaos resist on rings is rather fantastic. I mean, those enchants that you can put on rings are really useful. And they've got a nice lightning retaliation one, but I mean, the one with physical damage and chaos resistance, I'm sold on that one. This metal is actually pretty good as well. So they've got a few things that are worth getting. Get some notes on the floor for some lore and experience. That's the important bit. I don't have any devotion points. I don't have any devotion points. I don't have any skill points anymore. Okay. So I have to get to fight the cultists and get some sigils out of them. You usually get them not super rare, but they're like an uncommon drop from the cultists. It's not super difficult to complete that quest. Normally, just going through ear will get it for you, especially if you find more of those guys. Oh, apothecary signs. This is actually a pretty good amulet. Metal. The apothecary set is actually really good in general. This will probably lower my damage. No, it okay. No, it increases it. Jeez. How about my resists? Does it lower my resist significantly? It actually increases my resist significantly. I always end up using the apothecary sign. It's one of those weird item that you find a lot of time and is always really good. The set itself is not only good for the class it gives bonus to, but I mean it's straight up like bonus alt, bonus defensive ability. So it is put 1 or 2 things together and they start piling up really quickly. The whole apothecary set is a pistol, a set of gloves, and what's the last bit? The wisdom, I think, is actually a ring. It's a nice set because it's also like odd items, except for the gun there, they're odd items. I mean, a gun is not always the greatest because a lot of builds are not going to be using guns, but it's one of those things. All right, time to move ahead. Well, actually, I'm gonna go and do the old switcheroo on my amulet, on my metal. Keep that on and stick that on there. Not a huge increase in damage, but it gives me some lightning retaliation, which is fun, and the static strike on it is also pretty useful. I mean, there's so many items in this game, I don't remember all of them, but there's some that I just end up remembering. Okay, Black Legion Scout telling me, hey, there's bad stuff ahead. Well, congratulations, bro. You've noticed. Oh, those are my friends of the Kaiman Chosen. which means there should be, yeah, there you go. There's some necromancers around. Now, necromancers are fighting. No, it was Kaiman's Chosen fighting some cultists. Okay. What level's the Kaiman's Chosen? I don't remember. Catonians. Okay, so the cultists. So it's one that's pretty easy to level up, actually. Or not terribly difficult to level up. Let's try to find more of those sigils that I need. Like I said, it's usually not too bad. I've got a bunch in my stash anyways if I just want to turbo to quest or if I'm not finding them. All right. I have to find the farmers, but that's usually not too bad either. There are a few manticores here floating around, so you can try to find some of the manticore's eyes around here if required. Okay, one of the Black Legion scouts. Just defile a shrine because they're evil anyways. So, what's the... Another guy. Ah, there's a seal. I'm at 2 out of 3. 4 out of 5 for the insignias. Yeah, there's more insignias up north, so that bit's not too difficult. A bunch of Kaiman's Chosen. Oh, that's a bunch of people trying to do a quick auto de fe with a person that they're saying is taken. But no, she's just a witch. She's not taken. She's just a witch. But the civilians don't agree that she's not a witch. So you know. And I've never found a way to make them not think she's a witch. You meet her again later on when you get to the witch's coven, because there's a huge area of a witch's coven in one of the expansions. There, I got all my seals of binding. I got all my insignias. Things are looking good. Things are looking up. Isn't there where there's a boss usually? Okay, no, I guess not. There's a few different nasties around here. Okay, I can still pick up the insignias. Okay, so if I still see more guys with insignias on the floor, I will pick them up. Who are you guys fighting? Oh, Kaiman's Chosen, so they're my guys. Okay. Oh, that's the civilians. Okay. All right, we got the civilians back home. Things are looking up. Oops. I used up one of my seals and I needed to keep it. Oh well, I should find another one somewhere. But I got a devotion point that I can go stick in the bar. Cunning, physique, defensive ability. So just reduces my chance of being critted. Oh, well, there was another seal on the ground right there. Easy enough. Physique is extra hit points. Cunning is, well, extra damage with physical, which is kind of what I'm doing anyways. So, well, I'll take it. It's not the best node ever, but it's definitely not terrible. What's this way? Morton's Claim. Oh, yeah, another place like that. So you get ear. It's a former claim. I'll grab it. There's a dead guy on in the outhouse. That's just a funny thing that they've put in the game. Then there's a random person saying, "Hey, help me out. I'm here to stop the cult of Catan. What do you need? Any help? I need some dynamite in order to clear the way into my cave." Okay, well, here you go. Have some dynamite. Okay, you go in and you're like, "Hey, that's not too bad." And then you notice the cave in question is a little bit creepy with a bunch of skulls on the ground. Haha, I'm actually an evil monster. Well, this one's just a undead. Not even a dangerous monster. Longsword of not being very good. Boots of actually not terribleness. Those are good for a soldier, but they might actually be good for me too. Drops my elemental resistance to 79, but increases my physical resistance to 6%, which is not bad. Increases my damage a little bit. Reduces my offensive ability, probably. Yeah, but still have a good enough crit chance on it. I'll put Marks of the Travelers on those boots when I can. That's a Mark of Dreeg. No, actually, I'm going to go and do that right away because movement speed is pretty useful. Just speeds things up in general. Just give me the thing, put it in the boots, and an extra 8% movement speed and 18 regeneration per second, which is also pretty good. I don't think I've ever put anything else into boots than the Mark of the Traveler. Well, at the start of the game, you might put like plating or whatever, but any other time, as soon as the marks are available, you just put that because you want extra speed. Slow resistance is not bad either, so. Eromanticore. There's the boss. And this guy's rough because he's got 2 pistols and deals tons of vitality damage, which I don't resist all that well. but I still managed to beat him. I am clearing out the area a little bit more than usual because I do want the reputation these guys give, anyways. So, yeah, that boss is pretty easy, and you do lose a dynamite. But I mean, the XP it gives for the quest, I think it's 12K. So it is very, very good XP for a dynamite, basically. I mean, if it was a full dungeon, it'd be a little bit better, but they probably didn't want to go that far. But that'd be a place where I would do a full dungeon. Just, something weird and creepy, and you have to try to get through it. A demon shrine right there. It summons the bigger demons and not just the little dudes. Plus 19 to all damage is actually not bad. Oh, now the necromancers are fighting the Kaiman's Chosen. It is nice that your auras do buff them, but right, let's just try to get as many enemies as possible in a line and use the big ability on them. Where's the next gate? Just a bit further down, I think. Does that lead to the wrong place? Is my question. Okay, there's the gate. So the village, Fort Icon, Homestead, Sorrows Bastion, Stone Rend Quarry, Fort Aron. Okay, well, I can go and cash in a few quests now. Okay, well, we're going to Fort Icon. Okay. This guy wants the Legion tags. Brought in a bunch of dog tags, gives me a little bit of reputation. Sell, 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 sell. I'm just going to put that over here. Not very good. Well, plus 3 levels to raise skeletons is not bad, but I have to clear the thing. You have to do this. Just a whole lot of little quests here. Sorrow's Bastion. Okay, I have to go to Fort Aaron and kill a particular dude. Okay. My savagery is not max level, but it's kind of max level. So I could just leave it at that and level this up instead. Bonus to attack speed is always fun. It's straight damage, more or less. Bonus to retaliation damage is not fantastic, but okay. Fort Aaron is over there. So I have to go to a fort. Let's go and raid a fort. Is it this way? Ethereals. Well, that's it's because there's more stuff with ethereals this way, I think. Yeah, there's ethereals this way. But I don't think I need to go that way because that's for a quest with the other guys. My auras buff my allies when they're around. Yay. Not sure it makes a big difference, but all right, we're heading towards the fourth. Bunch of Death's Vigils, guys. Ether, physic, and vitality damage, not. Not like these guys are very difficult. They deal ice damage, a lot of them. Vitality and ice damage. Vitality is not great for me, but ice damage, I've got plenty of resist, so I'm not worried. They might do some ether damage as well. Not 100% sure. I'd have to check their damage profiles. But they're not huge threats, basically. I was fighting like really tough enemies at the start of the night, and now all the enemies are at my level, so they're like really easy. I'd be okay with them being like +2, +3 rather than at my level or +1. Oh, criminal records, page 2. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe I'll criminal records, page 3. There you go. Finding criminal records in the bookshelves. Oh yeah, that's the criminal records for the various cultists, chthonic cultists. They are not nice people. There we are. Regular skeletons, nothing hyper threatening here. Some dynamite. Always a plus finding dynamite laying on the floor. think that's the boss I have to kill. Yeah, that's the boss I have to kill. He wasn't much of a threat. Debt Watcher's Pendant of Celerity, not that great. A hood, that's not that great. And a one-ended scepter, that's I'm not even gonna bother with. Okay. Let's finish clearing out this area. That's pretty much cleared out. All right. Go back to Sorrow's Bastion. Yeah, Devil's Crossing is a prison. I know, but the those criminal records you get later on in the game. There's criminal records you can get earlier, but they've got a different name for the lore bits. Those are the criminal records really for the cultists, and not for just evil people. Okay, well, is there another quest I can get up just now? Yes, I can. Okay, Father Kaimon himself. Recover the ashes from the. That's much later. So I'm not gonna get that just yet, but we're moving the quests along. In my Kaiman's chosen, I'm already like halfway through respected. So it's not going to be super hard to get, at least to respected. You need to get to honored to get the cool stuff, but that's how it is. So I have to go to the mill and clear it out of the blood cultists so the people can start cutting wood again. So let's try to go to the mill. There, we're in the mill. That wasn't too difficult. Now, was it? Manticores, demons, all sorts of fun things. Some of the higher end demons are here too, not just the cultists and the little itty bitty demons. None of the really big ones. The really big ones, you have to go like to the demon dimension to really fight them. But there's a few of them around. Okay, yeah, there is something here. I wasn't imagining things. A few more cultists out of the way. That's the mill's office, I guess. Okay. Nothing cool hanging out in the bookshelves here, though. The chaos zones are cool just because they're different enough and they're randomly generated for some of the things. So it can be a bit of a challenge to get to in and out of as well. So anything that's a little bit different in a game that's more or less all fixed is always a bit of fun. I am not in the right region at all for what I wanted to. All right, let's go back down to the mill. Right now I'm at the top of the mill. This is where you put all the logs here and you float them down the river and you bring them here. You put them in there and then they can start processing the whole thing. And there's a big wheel, a big water wheel, and the big water wheel is awesome because it generates power. Well, not really generate power, but it kind of generates power. It generates mechanical power. Yeah, we'll go with that. People don't remember just how important mills like these were. Like up until like the early 19th century, because the not every town, but a lot of towns needed a mill like this just to be able to provide everything for everybody in town. And it was a pretty darn good job to be working on the mill. Of course, as a Quebecois, I mean, I know a lot of people worked in the forests as well, cutting the trees, but I had a couple uncles that did that. One that died on the job. So yeah, that was, geez, when did he die? 1964. Like it's the kind of it's an uncle that I've never met because he died before I was even born. And like my dad barely knew him because the family was so big that he was out of the house by the time my dad was like 8. So one of those situation. Yeah, but it's not just loggers. You had all sorts of other jobs around it. I don't know exactly how he died. I know my fraternal grandfather died on a job site way before I was born. Once again, my dad was in his early teens, I think, when he died. He worked on a job site for road construction, and he died that way. And in those days, that was really bad. As my grandma had a lot of issues because of that, let's say. Kind of the reason why all the kids in the family went to work in all sorts of things, and everybody was in either the military or the RCMP or worked in the mines or the forest because that's where they used to live. In Abitibi-Témiscamingue, up north here in Quebec, is mainly mines and logging for the longest time. That's where there's the huge gold mines and uranium mines and silver mines, and yes, a lot of the better materials, let's say. Hey, another one of those thingies. We're gonna get some reputation. One-handed sword, not very good. One-handed ranged. A chest armor, that's not very good. Pretty eye defense. Nothing else really. Well, that's a job, and that's a really good job that you're having. So happy to hear that you're working in the industry. Not everyone can be in IT like I am, even though it's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. But I'm in IT, and I keep learning new IT stuff every day. That's a lot of fun. There we are. What's over here? Manticores. Okay. there's always the odd possibility that one of them will drop a manticore's eye. So I'm always going to kill the manticores when they show up. Your industry adjacent. Okay, that's fine. That's a way to say it. All right. I mean, I'm not gonna dox myself with who my employer and everything is either, but I do work in IT most of the time. I did work in IT, but for all sorts of other, adjacent things as well. Translation of documents, all sorts of fun things. Because they do need that kind of service as well. All right. Oh, that's the bridge you can't repair. It's sad. You could repair the bridge and you could go to Fort Aron again from here. All right. A nice village full of cultists. Nice place to go for a vacation. And the mayor had no idea all these new people that were moving in. I mean, he had no idea that they were all cultists. But they all were acting really weird, but he didn't want to make a fuss. Yeah, the bathhouse is something. Yeah. I mean, this whole subplot here is quite something, to be honest. I mean, those cultists, they worked hard to get like where they were going and to try to get their whole thing going, to try to destroy the world, basically. And then someone beat them to the punch. Like that's the awful bit for that particular cult. They're like, yeah, guys, you did all that stuff to try to destroy the world and collect all that blood and kill all those people. Yeah, but someone was even worse than you and destroyed the world even quicker than you did. Nice job. They must have felt really stupid when that happened. Another totem. I'm a bit surprised I'm finding more of those than a lot of times. Dread Guard. That's a shield. That's offhand. That's a +1 to all shaman skill amulet, which is not bad, I guess. I might put it in this pile here. All right. Keep going. Oh. Nice general store. Zaria's journal. Yeah, that's the one that goes that it goes like, yeah, everything's going to shit, so I'm going to join the cult. I don't know. Joining a cult because everything's going to shit doesn't sound like a great idea. I know you see that in a lot of stories, but just doesn't sound like the smartest thing. All right. A nice wobbly bridge. Oh, the bathhouse. Yeah, we were talking about that. Doo-doo-doo-doo. We're getting there. And we turn around. And yeah, they were just draining people of their blood in the bathhouse. Isn't that a delicious thing to do? There's a shrine. That's a normal shrine, at least. The Guards of Perdition. I mean, if I was doing the Perdition build, I'd have two of the parts already. That's a devotion point. Goes right in the bar. 50% bonus damage, physical damage, and 60 armor. Like 60 armor, I mean, that's free armor all over the body. That's really good. Yep, nope, just thank you. Zarya's Journal Part 2. Pendant of Void, Chaos Damage, off and a two-handed mace that's not very good for what I'm doing. A Mace of Piercing, because that's what you do. There's definitely a bot from Twitch. Let me just ban them. Is it even worth streaming on Twitch? That is my question. I mean, maybe someday I'll be lucky. I cleared the lumber mill. Yay! You gave me scraps for that. It's more physical damage, more lightning damage, more lightning retaliation. I mean, it's all cool stuff. Oops, I switched my weapon. Gonna drop off the bits, sell off the junk that I have, and we'll call it a day. That was an okay stream. We did a bit of the main quest and a bit of the side questing. Found that I've got 3 of these. I've got 18 dynamites. I got a manticore's eye. Tainted brain matter, I'll get more later. Everything else here will start piling up later. I'm doing okay. So I thank everybody for watching. I hope you guys have a very nice rest of your day, and I will see everybody later. Bye-bye.